Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 2, season 2 of the Holistic Hoedown. And it is a very special episode today. We've got, I call her Caitlin or Homan, but I think most commonly she's referred to as Dr. C. And she's been in both of our lives for a while for very different reasons. But we're going to talk about tapping, which is a form of meditation. And Caitlin is going to tell us all about it. But first of all, we want to get to know who Caitlin is. Caitlin, hi, who are
Hi,
you? Hi.
Caitlin. Can I want to say something really quick because I think this is really fun that Caitlin is here because Caitlin's the reason that Megan and I met.
Yes, she's the facilitator of the podcast. If we want to give
Yes.
her a title, like she was the one that made this happen. So thank you, Caitlin.
Yes, she invited me to this. Yes, so I just thought we had to add that. But yes, let's hear all about you, Caitlin, because we both love you so much and all that you do and just the person that you are and all the things that you know. And
Ah,
so I'm so excited. Like I only know a tiny,
she's
tiny,
like
tiny
an
bit of tapping.
encyclopedia.
I know. I know. I'm like every time I see her, I'm like, "Oh, I just learned something new. I just learned something new." So, I don't know. I'm excited to learn about tapping because, like I said, I don't really know anything. But yeah, share with our audience who you are. Like, what do you do? What do you love?
Why are you here? So,
Oh,
oh,
we kind of lost
go
you.
ahead. We kind of lost you. Are you there? Okay. It probably was an internet thing. It's fine. So what got you into tapping? Is that something that you discovered when you were in chiropractic school, or did this sort of happen after the fact? What got you there? Wow, very cool. So when could you tap? I guess.
Or I'm curious when you use it the most, like
Yeah.
for you and maybe for others. Mm, mm.
I know I've used it when I'm just right around my period, I get super anxious, and that's one of the first things I do is I start tapping, and it helps, it really does. It brings me from a state of, like, "Nobody talk to me, just leave me alone in this dark room," to a point where I can, like, "Okay, I'm not happy, but I'm here." You know?
Yeah.
It helps me out a lot.
Well, okay, the one time I looked up a video on it because I think I had heard you talk about it, Caitlin, or, from other things, and it happened to pop up on my feed for, like, Instagram or something, but it was when I had COVID in March of 2020, and no one really knew. It was sorta like, "Oh, everyone's dying," or, "Everyone's going to the hospital." We really didn't know a lot about it, and I usually come from a place of, like, I'm giving my body all the support it needs, like, but I was scared because I was so sick. It took me a long time to feel better after COVID, but a lot of it was fear-based, I think, making me even more sick. So when I found that, it was like I felt better almost instantly, and I don't it's almost like I don't even care
Yeah.
if it was in my head because I fucking felt better. It was
Right.
like, "Oh my gosh," and it was like I never could find that exact video again because it was so good and I wanted to go back to it, but it shifted how I felt physically, mentally, spiritually. It was so crazy, like, I don't know if I'm sure I know you guys have those experiences where you do things like that seem so, because 'cause you're literally just tapping on your body with your fingers, right? Like, you do things that are like, "Oh, what? That is so weird. Shouldn't you just take a pill or just go do But doing something kind of in quotes, "weird," can be so transformative sort of, or provide such a shift.
Yeah, I had the same experience, like, I had no idea that just tapping could get rid of it, like, it's crazy to me, and well, hopefully, at the end, we'll have Caitlin lead us in a tapping meditation, and don't worry if you're not watching us on YouTube, you'll be able to follow along. She'll, cue you what points to go to, although it is, if you've never done it before, it is worth looking at least once so I know I need to see it at least once before I can, like, hear it and be okay with it, but we'll get to that later. So,
Well, I think Caitlin was gonna say something.
yes, sorry, Caitlin, talk. You're here, talk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because don't you think most of the time, well, our thoughts affect so much of how we feel, right? Like if we're in a stress response, then we start to spiral, right? Like you're going through, okay, now I'm like hyping myself up. I'm going through all these, or like you said, memories, or last time this happened, this and this and this happened. So it's breaking that cycle. And that is fascinating to me. I'm also curious about, so you said that these are acupressure points? Okay, so, okay, yeah, sorry. Does someone else have a question?
Well, it's almost like neurofeedback. Sorry, go ahead. Mhm. I just
I
got
know, like,
goosebumps.
I was like, "Yeah, I
Goosebumps.
do deeply accept myself. You're already making me cry, Dr. Z." Yeah, especially me. I'm always, like, in your office, like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna cry right now." But, that's interesting. I love how you the thought of accepting it because some whenever I got sick and I was choking on things, like, all that I would think about every time I ate was, "Okay, just don't choke." Like, "Okay, just chew a little longer." Like, I couldn't go without not thinking about choking. So, and it was almost like this feeling I could feel in my body before I even had the thought. And so what I started to do was, I actually said, a Bible verse that I, had remembered as a child that brought me comfort. So every time I thought, this thought is even just coming up, I would start to say that verse. But it could be a mantra, it could be whatever, and it was like, I'm shifting what my brain is thinking right now, so I'm not even gonna build that bridge to this thought anymore, I'm breaking that bridge. Um, is that different, do you think, than, that acceptance and the oh, okay. Okay.
Great job.
Ok well, okay, this is fascinating then because I feel like I've tried I think you guys have probably heard people say that too, right? Like, maybe, like, switch the thought with something else, or is that a thing? Mhm.
for me, it's okay that you're anxious. It
Mhm.
was acknowledging, like, that was such a powerful. I think for the longest time I'd been taught, like, "You're fine. You're fine. Get over it, you're fine." And this was the first technique that it was like, "You're not fine, but it's okay that you're not fine. Just go with the flow." And I was like, "Whoa, that works more than get over it, or just
Mhm.
don't think about it," or because I never was taught to, like, find a home base or even, like, think of a Bible verse, but it was always just don't think about it. Okay, well, that doesn't really work either. It maybe works for a minute, but not, in this grand scale of your life. It doesn't work. It makes I think it creates disease, chronic disease. Mhm.
Mhm. I think that's such a great point, Megan, that we have sort of touched on before in some episodes about um saying, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I'm
I'm
fine."
fine. It's fine.
Or
Everything's fine.
or I feel like I hear people say that to their kids a lot. Like, "It's fine. It's fine. Move on." And I get what they're trying to do because it's sort of like, "Look, you're still okay. You fell, and I see that you're crying." But it's sort of like glossing over that there's an emotion.
Mhm.
And it is, I feel like it's been more recently brought to my attention because I don't think I say that very much, but I do hear a lot of other people say that. I'm not saying I don't gloss over my emotions at all, but that's just maybe not how I do it by saying, "I'm fine." Maybe I do, maybe and I just don't even realize it. But, are there other cues or things that would bring about, like, when are you suppressing your emotions? How do you know that? Is it with those, like, "I'm fine," or, like, can you feel it in your body that you're suppressing those things? Or, like, I don't know, I guess do you get what I'm asking? Mhm.
Did anybody see it?
Yeah, did anyone see it? I don't know, I'm just wondering, like, okay, so whenever we may need to use tapping, how does that show up? Because it's, obviously, like, suppression of emotions, right? So it shows up maybe as anxiety or pain. I'm like, "Mm." Mm. Yeah. Yeah, because we like you said, you had alluded to, Megan, you're not either allowed to show emotion, either as a kid, in the workplace, with your friends, with your partner, like,
Mhm.
people, because then it triggers other people, and then they're like, don't bring that shit over here. I don't wanna feel my
She's
emotions if you're
making me
feeling
feel
yours."
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but, okay, I guess I'm wondering also, how long does it usually take to tap? And can you tap, like, can you just, like, while you're in your car, can you do this? Or, like, what do you need? So you're like, "Guys, it's fine, I'm just tapping myself. Just keep talking about what you're talking about. It's fine." Oh, okay, okay, they can't see
That's what I took it as, but I do see that's very funny. No, keep talking. You're not pissing me off. It's fine. Just keep
Yeah.
talking. I'm just working through something here. Just keep talking.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so, well, how long does it usually take to do a tapping session, or, like, because I'm wondering how. Mhm. Okay, so it's not like you have to spend a whole bunch of time doing, I mean, it's nice to maybe put aside time, like you said, get used to doing it. But I feel like not only for tapping, but I think a lot of people, even for working out, feel like, oh, I'm going to have to set aside a whole hour, or meditation, right? Where you're like, I'm going to have to do all these things. And then it's, I just don't know that I can do it, right? Like this, like most things, like you could do this in 5 minutes. Mhm. Yeah, I don't feel like it was very long. I think I got interrupted, like by children or something, and that's why I also couldn't find the video again. I was very upset, but I was like, "This is working. This is awesome." But I just feel like it was very quick, and I think that's talking about living a holistic life, which we're kind of about, it
Just a
doesn't
little
always
bit.
have to be just yeah, just a little bit. It doesn't all have to be all consuming or like I guess that's what I'm getting to is that this tapping can have a big effect in a small amount of time, it seems.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I know, I don't know how I came across tapping, but there's a great couple resources out there. There's a book called The Tapping Solution by Nick Ortner, and it's amazing. And then he also has an app. It's actually him, his brother, and his sister. So it's like a family affair. And they have the Tapping Solution app, and it's a free app. You can pay to get, more specialized meditations, but there's one on fear, there's one on money, there's one on weight loss, there's one on anxiety. And these are all free because I refuse to pay for an app. So these are all free meditations that you can get through the app. And you can even, you rate how you feel within the app before you start. Then after you're done, you rate again and it'll ask you, do you want to try again? And you can try again. You can do it for sleep. My husband, the eternal skeptic, it doesn't sleep well. And I was like, I'm gonna make you tap. So we did a tapping together. And the next morning he's like, I mean, I'm not ready to admit that that was why, but I slept pretty good last night. I was like, that, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
But I think that's the way for most of these things. Like whenever I do shamanic journeying or any of these other like different means of healing that are different from what I learned when I was growing up. Um, I think that it's like, well, if it worked, why does it have to be like if you felt better, like does it have to be this whole big deal? Like I think that is sort of a belief system like, oh, we had to take a pill or you have to do this thing or it has to be hard to heal. And I don't think that that is what it has to be like or you have to I'm not sleeping because I'm so stressed out or I'm not eating well or I mean there's other things that people think, but it doesn't have to be hard, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know.
And you don't have to hold on to it. I think what really came up there for me was Alex was very stressed, and I think that of course, he didn't want to be stressed, but I think he just identified as
Mm,
one who is stressed. And so that tapping was the only way he could get out of his head as like, "Hi, I'm Alex and I'm stressed." You know, "I'm Alex and I can't sleep because I'm stressed, but that's okay and it'll get better." And I just, and so I think that's what really helped him was that he got out of his own way in a sense, I guess.
mhm. I mean, we could do a whole thing about identifying with our shit. Like, that is who I am. I am just stressed and I'm always busy and this is just who I am. Like taking it on.
Right. And that's a limiting belief too, right? Like, oh, in order for me to be a working mom and great wife and, you know, have all these side gigs, I just have to be chronically busy and stressed all the time. Hooray for me.
Mhm.
But, you have to, yeah, I guess tapping is really kind of what helps break you break you out of that. I know that's what helped Alex sleep a little bit was that he was just able to, I don't know, get out of his own way, I guess, for lack of a better, that's my scientific term, get out of your own way.
Is actually that's what I was gonna ask. Is tapping have a scientific term? Like, is there a like energetic blah, 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 or is it just tapping? You know?
But isn't it's a type of an emotion, is it emotional freedom technique? Is that am I
Okay, that's scientific enough for me.
right? I think that's the level of science we're at here, Caitlin. We don't need any
I
neurobiological
know.
bullshit on this podcast.
That's what I was looking for, Megan. Thank
I
you.
got you. I got you.
Okay.
Free the emotions. So, do we have
Hold
any
on.
more questions?
I
Oh,
do. I
okay.
do. I have a
All
lot
right.
of questions all the
Okay.
time. No.
No,
I
go
guess
for it.
I'm wondering, um, like, are there I mean, you're a chiropractor. You have a lot of modalities, I feel like, for healing. Um, do you feel like there's any other healing techniques that really complement, tapping or oils or like are there other things to add into like for maybe there's people who are listening who already do tapping like is there maybe a way that they can like level up or another thing that you do i- with tapping. Oh shoot. Thank
Awesome.
you. Yeah, so I guess I'm ready. Hmm.
Well, yeah, that'd be lovely. Huh.
I can also yeah. Yeah, I feel like this also like my kids are teenagers. I can see how this would be a great technique for them too. Or and can you do this on toddlers or if they'll let you? Is that a thing?
Thane I used to lead Thane in a tapping. We would I used when I first found out about it, I was like, "Dane, come over here and tap with me." And he was like 3. And,
They're
they had
3.
about, I had about 30 seconds to get it, but he liked doing it, and he would always ask, like, "Can we do some tapping?" And, "Yeah, sure." And so, I mean, mixed results with a 3-year-old, so I'm sure with teenagers it would be like a really great. I wish I would have had that as a teenager. Maybe I wouldn't be such a teenager.
Mm,
Intense, yes, teenage rage. Yeah, that.
cool.
So
I
adorable.
I know. Yes. I was just gonna say, you guys, I'm having serious hormonal things, like, I'm like, "I wanna have another baby." When my
Oh,
kids
goodness. Oh,
that's a
goodness.
whole 'nother show, guys, but talking about hormonal I'm like, "Stop talking about babies. I need to hold a baby right now, it's fine, everyone."
Think someone needs to be tapping on babies.
Yeah, exactly. Remember you like sleeping.
I'm fine. Everything's
It's
fine.
fine. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I'm ready for this tapping exercise, though.
I am. Are you ready, Miss Caitlin? Doctor C, as they call you? I know. I know, I was totally like, "What do we say? What do we say, kids? We say Miss Caitlin."
That's really
Even
long,
though
so I'm gonna let Megan.
even though I have this pain in my body, I completely love deeply and
How long about do you so you sorry. Hold on. So sorry, you say you just think of the pain or the stress, so you don't say the thing that you're like, "I deeply." Okay. How long do you tap each one? How long do you tap each one? Yeah. Okay.
wow, that was fast. You could do it anytime. Now, okay. Do you have to say it out loud or can you say it in your head? Does that make sense? Okay, gotcha. That was awesome.
Yeah, I think I went down to 2 pain levels
I
for
know I
just.
did.
Mhm.
I'm so overwhelmed this week, so that's what I tapped on, and I went from about an 8 to about a 4, so I'll probably do it again.
Wow.
But I'll take a 4 any day. Mhm.
So you kind of had said that you can use this for pain, anxiety, weight loss, you were saying, right? And I feel like other things. Do you
A good one. It's like you're naming all my favorites. Awesome. Wow. Do you just stare at your Amazon cart and tap? This is a practical use question. Is that what you do? You just stare at your Amazon cart and you're like, "I don't need this. I acknowledge that I want it, but I also know that I don't need it. Buy now, one click."
Okay, okay, so
Come to me for financial advice. Anyway,
no, well, I guess I'm wondering. Well, I guess that's a question. So that beginning statement is what I kind of want a little bit more clarification before we end because we're coming up on our hour. But um, okay, can you give me like three example statements? Like, so it's like I deeply love and accept myself, or however we did the pain one, and then maybe like whatever the sentence would be for like weight loss, and then maybe a financial one, like just so I can get more clear on that. Yeah, that sounds like I always go back that this first time I heard acceptance was in, like, those AA things, which I'm not in, like, the alcoholics thing, but, like, it was like, "First accept you have a problem," right? Like, just identifying and being like, "I'm aware that this is a thing." Like, I am aware that I have this limiting belief, and but I deeply accept myself and, I'm gonna have to work on that verbiage, but Mm. Oh my gosh, I really love this. I'm gonna start doing this, and I'm gonna teach my kids. So, oh my thank you for sharing this with us and taking this time because I know you're super busy, and I know you d yeah, you're so like, everything that you do for my family has been so incredibly helpful, and so thank you for sharing this with whoever might listen because I hope that it, like, just is a, butterfly effect, right? Like, or whatever
Right.
that would be, that just transcends, so thank you for sharing that. I'm so excited to use it.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, doesn't she look like an angel with her light lit up behind her?
Yeah.
A tapping
Yes,
angel.
angelic.
Well, thank you so much, Caitlin, for taking time. Like Reba said, we know you're super busy and we've been trying to coordinate this for a while now. So I just really appreciate you doing the research for us and taking the time and we can tell by the way you talk about it that you're just passionate about helping people heal. So we just really loved having you on the podcast. You'll probably come back soon. All right,
Right.
everybody. You guys get out there and tap. Let us know if you're familiar with tapping, if you're new to tapping. Once you've tapped, let us know how it made you feel. And let us know if you want Dr. Caitlin back on because we do. So
So we're gonna do it
we're
anyway?
gonna do it anyway. But we love you guys and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.